Welcome! My name is Whitney, and I suppose this is a cheap home video version of Nailed It, of which there are probably already millions on YouTube. I don't know. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a no filter, no makeup, poor lighting, no budget kind of sort of video. We don't even know how to work our camera. My first enabler is Andy of Stourbridge, England, United Kingdom, who has requested a rocket ship or flying saucer launching theme for his birthday cake, and has generously provided me with this shaped cake pan to make a rocket ship or flying saucer launching birthday cake. So thank you for that, Andy. This should work perfectly. And I made a trip to Bulk Barn yesterday, and I think I have all of the ingredients and supplies I'm gonna need, but if I don't, that can only make it funnier. In fact, I even have my step stool in case I need to reach any items that we may have stored away in the top shelves of the cupboards. The struggle is 5 foot too real. My oven has preheated to 375 degrees. I think you're always supposed to butter the interior of a shaped cake pan. I don't know, I've never worked with this flexible baking silicone before. I can't believe that this silicone is oven safe and microwave safe and disherwave safe and flexible and everything. Anyway, I don't know if it needs to be buttered, but I have put some margarine on the inside, and I hope that margarine works the same as butter in this case. I think that mixing the batter has gone fine. The nice ladies at the Bulk Barn gave me something they called a recipe. Now, I don't know what a recipe is, but it seems to have some helpful suggestions about how to make and bake this chocolate cake batter. It called for 3/4 cups, or like 214 milliliters of vegetable oil. That seems like a lot of vegetable oil. Does that not seem like too much vegetable oil to you? Anyway, yeah, I think the cake batter has gone fine. The flavor of the cake is going to be chocolate raspberry. I don't know why. I just thought chocolate raspberry seemed fun. I also can't believe how many supplies you need for baking. Here I had been thinking that I only needed to get the ingredients that the recipes called for, but you don't only need ingredients, you need infrastructure. Like, this thing is telling me that I need a large mixing bowl and a whisk. What I have is a salad bowl and a fork. It also suggests like an electric stand mixer. Again, I have a large salad bowl and a fork. And I don't think I'm going to try to pour into the cake pan from the salad bowl. I think I'm going to get a ladle, because that is a piece of infrastructure we already own. Oh no. The ladle was not neat. Yeah, maybe that. And I think I'm supposed to fill a cake pan approximately 2/3 of the way full. It's a fairly thick cake batter. I don't know how much it's going to rise. Oh, I giggled. Maybe one more ladle full will do it. Whoa! It's fine. This is fine. Looks good at that end, but it looks like it needs a bit more the heavier end. Yeah, yes, where the rocket fuel is stored. Okay, I think that might be enough. I'm a little worried if I use any more it might just overflow its pan. Yeah, I'm going to put the rest of the cake batter in a cupcake tray, and we'll have some cupcakes. Maybe we can do something fun with that too. I will let you go to the library now. Thank you for your indulgence. I love you. My brilliant design idea involved at least one cake pop, and I have never made cake pops before. So I got a few of these paper dowels, and I got cheap pre-made Rice Krispie square treats, just the Great Value Rice Krispie square treats. I cut them in half and I have compacted them into fairly tight compact balls because I think the fairly tight compact balls are supposed to provide the structure the cake pop will adhere to. And then I realized that I had no stand for cake pops. I think that is one of the items that contestants on Nailed It probably have access to. So my brilliant plan with this one was to take the rest of the plastic bag of chocolate cake mix, because I didn't use all of the chocolate cake mix I bought at Bulk Barn, and stuff it into the box that the cake pan came in, and now they're in the corners. And then I got the cupcakes out of the oven. You can see I have used 3.5 cupcakes to a ratio of, I think, like 3 tablespoons of buttercream. So yeah, it's chocolate raspberry cake and buttercream, and I made this. The first 2 I constructed, they were too heavy and they slid right down their wooden dowels. So they have ended up in the freezer temporarily. So they are these coated in cake pop, but to get the dowels to stick, I have to coat the cake pops in white chocolate anyway. So you can see I've got half a cup of white chocolate chips in a small pot on the stove, and I haven't started heating them yet, but I'm gonna melt them, and when I coat them, I'm also going to coat the paper dowel and stick it back in, and hopefully that will stick them so they'll stand up. That's the plan. At the moment, we are currently 1 hour into the 2-hour baking time I set for myself, and the cake is still not out of the oven. The cupcakes, they only took not quite 30 minutes. We got a nice, like, moist cupcake in 30 minutes. But the tray that Andy sent me, I feel like it's gonna bake kind of inconsistently. Let's see what it's like now. At the 40-minute mark, I took it out to check it, and it's done at the edges, but it was goopy in the middle. Oh, that's good though, I think. I washed my hands, I promise. Yeah, before I poked the cake with my fingertips. I don't know that we have a wooden toothpick. Oh, chopstick. Okay. Go right in the middle here. Yes. I think the cake is done now. As you may or may not have already guessed, we took a coffee break. In fact, we took almost an hour break, and each had a mug of coffee and did nothing for a while because this had to chill. I think the contestants on Nailed It have access to a blast chiller, but we only have the regular refrigerator and freezer. And you can't really cool a cake any faster than a cake is going to cool. And I know, at least I think I know, you're not supposed to, you know, remove the cake from its pan before it's chilled, because if it's, you know, very moist or gooey at all, it's just going to fall apart. So yeah, we took a break, but we're back at it now. Greetings again. I am working on melting some white chocolate to cover the cake pops I've made. And at first I had half a cup of white chocolate chips and 2 tablespoons of water in this small saucepan. I think that was too much water and not enough chocolate chips, so I've been adding a bit more white chocolate chips. I think this is going pretty well. A little bit did burn to the bottom. As Matt warned me, it probably would. But like, that's just a little bit of sugar burning to the bottom of a pan, so we'll call it caramel, right? That's how that works. And I think this is chilled, so let's see if we can just flip it over. Yes, so far so good. And just take, oh yeah, no, it comes off easily. I think the margarine was probably the right thing to do. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so one testicle is trying to get away, but we have this white chocolate. Yes, we have this white chocolate. So I am going to, oh no, it's burned again. I'm going to turn that off and remove it from the heat. I'm going to put some of the white chocolate in here and then put it in the freezer and see if we can glue it back together with some white chocolate. This is a good plan, right? It's good. Not at all stupid. Oh, that didn't seem great. Okay, well. Okay, but like it's in there. So now, yep, that's definitely plan A. Just get it back in there. And I'm gonna put it back in the freezer so that the white chocolate will harden and glue it together. My melted white chocolate is quite lumpy. The plan to stick the paper dowels in the white chocolate and spoon some of the melted white chocolate into the holes of the cake pops and then put the paper dowels back in does seem to have worked. Like this one seems stuck in there pretty well now. But then coating it with the white chocolate, I don't honestly understand how some of the white chocolate chips are still intact chips and don't seem to have melted at all. Some of them appear to have burned to the bottom. Some of them got watery. It is a mystery to me. So yeah, there are white chocolate chips on this cake pop, and that's probably delicious, although it's not exactly the way I wanted it to look. But I do think it's going to stand up now. So yeah, that one can stay there. Let's try another one. My brilliant design idea also involved a mirror glaze. I don't think you're supposed to do a mirror glaze on a plain old chocolate cake. I think you're only supposed to do a mirror glaze on things that have a perfectly smooth surface, like maybe a cheesecake or a mousse cake. I'm not sure, but I already had the idea, and it's too late to unhave the idea. So I did my sugar and sweetened condensed milk and some water in a pan. I was supposed to use powdered gelatin, but I checked both the Walmart Supercenter and the Bulk Barn and neither of them had powdered gelatin, so I've used pectin instead because a lot of recipes say you can substitute pectin if you're vegetarian, so I'm hoping that it will still set without the gelatin because I couldn't find any. You may also see there is some mirror glaze running all the way down the front of our stove where I picked up the bowl and it was too hot at one point. Yeah, so lots of cleanup later. And this is it. I've got the white chocolate chips melted into it now. And again, the recipe says to use a whisk, and I have a fork. And it says to like strain it through a sieve, and I have the same fork. But I actually think it's pretty clear and smooth and free of lumps. I'm going to put a capful of the raspberry flavoring into it. I believe a capful is a correct baking measurement. I know it said to mix it gently so you avoid getting air bubbles in your final glaze, but ain't nobody got time for that. And then I want to use some black, blue, and purple. So I want to create like a nebula effect if I can. I'm sure it will be just as beautiful as the computer-generated nebulas we've been watching in Star Trek Voyager. We had to pause it there for a minute because neither of us could get into the gel coloring. These are the Wilton brand gel icing colors, I think. And yeah, I got into that one with a knife, and Matt did his best with these two. They are black and blue and purple, and now that they're open, I'm not even sure I can tell which is which. I think I'm going to start with the pearl dust, the silver pearl dust, because we do want to have that pearly effect throughout the nebula. So we just try this much and see what happens when I mix that into the mirror glaze. Is it going to clump up, or is it going to mix in well? I can't tell. It will be a surprise when we pour it. I think I will use like a full cup full of this. Yeah. Oh, look at it dust. Let's see if I can get that mixed in evenly with my fork. Oh. We can time-lapse this. Can we? I don't even know how to work a camera. Okay, I think the pearl dust is mixed in fairly evenly. I'm gonna try, I'm pretty sure this is the violet one. I'm gonna start with the violet to be like a background color. Let's see how this goes. Ooh! Yeah, I think this might actually work. Oh, okay, so you do not need much of this gel coloring. Now I know. Now I know. I want to add maybe some black on one side and some blue on the other side. Doesn't look like it's going to take very much of it. And we just want to swirl it so we get some different... Yes! Okay. Yeah, it's going to be our pretty nebula colors. And now I'm going to pour it into, what do you call this thing, Matt?
A jug.
A jug. Thank you. I'm glad I'm learning so much today. And then we're going to put the jug in the refrigerator for a little while, just because you don't want the mirror glaze to be warm when you pour it. It doesn't have to be very cold, it should just be like room temperature. As I already mentioned, I don't think I'm supposed to pour mirror glaze directly onto a chocolate cake. So I created some white chocolate glaze first. So this was the melted white chocolate I used initially, and I tried on one of them a thinned out white chocolate. Oh, it's a little tacky. It's not too sticky, but it is a little bit tacky. But I tried pouring the thinned white chocolate glaze all over the cake. Oh dear. In the hopes of creating a smoother, more consistent surface onto which to pour the mirror glaze. Unfortunately, it looks like I did not get the bits of the white chocolate chips. Like with the mirror glaze, I think I did create a smooth consistency. It looks like I did not do that well earlier. I get a little better every time. Now, perhaps the worst part of what I'm about to do, I'm supposed to raise the cake a bit before pouring the mirror glaze onto it, and we don't have one of those drip tray catcher things, but I think, again, I'm very resourceful here. Out you go, waffles. I think the Great Value waffle box is going to be about right, or we're all going to die. And also because this has been in the freezer for an hour, I don't know if I'm going to be able to move the cake ever again. Oh god. Oh no. This is terrible. Everything is terrible. Everything is terrible forever. Oh no, we got it. Yeah, no, we can get the whole cake on the Great Value waffle box. I hope the Great Value brand pays me for all the advertising I am doing for them. All right. Okay, the mirror glaze has been chilling in the refrigerator for a few minutes, and I don't want to leave it too long because the pectin may set in the refrigerator and not on the cake. But I don't know, we may have to do this in a few stages. Oh, I just put my hand right in the white chocolate. Cool. Let's see what happens. Okay, the colors are good, I think. I'm pretty okay with these colors. I am only pouring the mirror glaze over the shaft and the tip of the cake because I have other plans for the surface of the moon over down here. Oh, this might work. Oh Lord. Yes, it is just about fully covered there. Oh yeah, you're right, missed a spot there, thank you. Okay, yes. So this is going back into set, and then I'm gonna do the same with the 2 cupcakes I put aside. Oh, the stars are showing through! Look, the bits of white chocolate I did not dissolve properly at first. Woo. Cover more of the bottom there. I'm not really sure if that's going to be possible because cupcakes aren't straight up and down. They are, I was going to say concave, but you know what I mean. At this point I have begun plating the finished product. As you can see, I lost a bit, some bottom bits off the cake when I used the spatula. I didn't think of the spatula as being sharp or harmful, but apparently I shaved a bit of the bottom of the cake off with the spatula. So anyway, I've plated it. I have used some plain buttercream frosting with a bit more of the black gel icing dye to make some gray surface of the moon rocks. That's what those are, they're moon rocks. And now I'm working with fondant, and I've never worked with fondant before either, but this is Columbia, and this is Eagle. As you probably already figured out, we're doing the Apollo 11 mission here. It is a commentary on America, but how is for you to figure out. But yeah, this is Columbia, this will be Eagle. I have a bit of fondant in the freezer because I was finding it easier to work with when it was cold. Okay, I'm painting. It's very scary because I'm afraid this cake pop is going to fall over at any second. It just might. It's trying to. Okay, I'm just going to rotate that a little bit. Yeah, you can see I've got Columbia and Eagle, and this is Earthrise happening over here. It's not going to be very sort of clear. Scandinavia, I guess. It's a little bit of Scandinavia. I'm pretty terrified of knocking over the cake pop. That would be very frustrating.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Alright. Here he is. Big. These guys are pretty funny. They don't have faces. This one's gonna be Michael Collins. There's nowhere to put him. Guess there. So I suppose this is probably pretty self-explanatory, but this is a piece of artwork I will title America's Glory Days with Mirror Glaze. And it is a cake depiction of the Apollo 11 mission. So you can see this is Columbia, the shuttle, and this is Eagle, the lander. And here is Neil Armstrong, the first man to set foot on the moon, planting an American flag. And this is Buzz Aldrin keeping him company. And this is Michael Collins, who is just, you know, like circling around the parking lot, waiting to pick them up. And over here we have Earthrise. I think that's all pretty self-explanatory.